So, Man United won, Liverpool won. Chris from Redmen TV. I want to have a chat about the game, get your insight onto it. For me, it was 2 points lost going into the game.
Yeah, you're right, it was.
Looking at the fucking lineup as well. And for you, coming out of the game, are you happy with a draw?
Yeah, to be honest, yeah. Look, if anyone's seen my video on my match reaction on Redmen, they'll see that I was fuming at the time, and I still am fuming with the referee, to be honest with you. But for me, yeah, it was definitely 2 points lost. I thought we did enough to win that game of football. Like, I'm not saying we were the best side for the entire game. I think you dominated for spells and stuff like that. But we did a really good away performance there, and one that I think if that was like a European tie, that would be lauded as a great away performance, because it's Premier League and it's Manchester United. You don't look at games quite like that. But a draw is a fair result. I can totally see that. Like, I really can. But I felt that the referee cost us.
In what specifically?
Just the fact that Valencia was offside in the build-up to your goal.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you've got to say that we defended resolutely. You know, Simon Mignolet's made some great saves. Absolutely understand that. But he's a player just like anybody else. And how many times over the years the goalkeepers save points? Now Liverpool don't normally have that, so it was great to see. But ultimately, Manchester United couldn't score without the aid of that. No call on the offside decision.
On that note, Liverpool couldn't score without the aid of Pogba.
But that was a clear penalty.
Oh, it was absolutely clear penalty. But the amount of times, there's no point me listing them off. But United have had a hell of a lot of horror decisions go against us the wrong way this season. And then sometimes, like that one there, like Rojo not getting sent off against Everton, there's decisions that come for us. The linesman was in a bad position. He should have been in line with the back line, and that's the reason why he didn't give it. Because for him looking at it, he couldn't see it straight. So that's just bad officiating, and that's not down to the referee. That's down to his assistants. But
yeah, you're right, Sam. But equally, the Pogba headlock on Jordan Henderson, throwing him around. I don't think Dejan Lovren deserved the yellow card for that tackle. It felt like every single decision went against us. And look, I've got Liverpool tinted glasses on, of course I have. You're going to have United ones on, but I could name how many times Ander Herrera probably should have been booked, maybe 3-4 occasions. Pogba shouldn't have been on the pitch.
He was particularly snide, I loved it.
Yeah, and I get that, and if it was the other way around, I would love it as well. Yeah. But there was so many of those decisions that it kind of was, it was harsh on Liverpool.
Me looking at the game, I didn't come out of it, because it's happened a lot this season. We've had terrible refs, or just refs that take centre stage. I don't think it was a game where the referee took centre stage. I'm not saying that the football was great, and I thought you controlled us for about 70-75 minutes of that game. And it was only really when Fellaini came on and we switched up tactically that we actually started to get something, because he was defending so deep. You had Anthony Martial. I'm looking at the starting 11. Nathaniel Klein's out, your best right back. Matip's out, your best centre back. Mane's out, your best attacker. Coutinho's not starting, your other best attacker. I'm looking at that starting lineup. An 18-year-old who's got 1 minute's experience up against Anthony Martial. I'm rubbing my hands together. I'm thinking 9 wins in a row, 15 games unbeaten at Old Trafford. It felt like a flip reverse of when we played you at Anfield. You were in form and Man United were a little bit shaky. So I expected you to try and come and contain us a little bit. And I think you did with Martial. As a team and a unit, whenever the ball went to Martial, you didn't let Arnold get isolated one-on-one. Yeah. You put 2 or 3 on him. And the problem with that, we didn't have Matteo Darmian. We had Matteo Darmian, sorry, that was the issue. He wasn't overlapping. So because of that, the space wasn't created. And something that I don't understand why we didn't do it. If you've got 3 players around Anthony Martial, there's going to be space in the middle, because they've all just run over there. We didn't attack that space. So I think Man United were poor. Pogba had an absolutely shocking game, gave you a penalty, missed a one-on-one chance, and just overall his passing was poor. You set up to stop Pogba. You did it very well, to the point we had to take Carrick off to switch it up, and that didn't really work. But something that sort of pissed me off after the game was Jurgen Klopp talking about how when Fellaini came on, he wasn't happy that Man United started playing long balls. Over the course of the game, I don't think we had that many more long balls than you. But what's your take on the fact that Man United did switch it up for the last 15 minutes, went a bit more direct, and ultimately it led to the equaliser? Is that a smart tactical decision by Mourinho, or is that just a bullish approach to the game?
Look, right, there's many different ways to win a game of football. It would have been stupid of him after 75 minutes to continue doing what he was doing, because it wasn't working. Yeah. You did have opportunities to score, as you say, the Pogba one, Mkhitaryan, where Mignolet makes another great save. But ultimately, Mourinho makes the change and you get the goal. And look, what Klopp says is for Liverpool fans. He's not saying that to rile Manchester City, or maybe he is, maybe that's the thing there. But it's, you know, Mourinho's been doing this in the press for absolutely years. When he was at Chelsea, do you know what I mean? And he's been doing it when he's been in Spain and Italy and everything. He riles people up, and that's what Mourinho's been doing. Yeah. Klopp does it. It's gamesmanship. That's all it's about. I think, you know, Klopp can say this. Of course he was unhappy because we conceded a goal because of it, because that worked. Now, it could be that, you know, Klopp actually fears the fact that the way to get round the midfield press is to lump the ball long. And that's what Mourinho's done. And tactically, you know, we've talked about this before in this season, but Leicester did it last season. Everyone started playing a high press last season. What did Leicester do? Knock it into the channels, let people run in behind. It's not something new here that he's done, but it is astute when it's in a big game like that. Marouane Fellaini's a big unit. You got Zlatan Ibrahimovic, the ball just seems to stick to him. Why wouldn't you utilise those things if you've got those options available to you?
But I mean, coming in, see, every time I go to Anfield, I would honestly take a draw before the majority of the games when United go there in the league. It was that the sort of same feeling you go into this game? Were you looking at that saying, even with that starting 11, Liverpool, we can go and do something in this match, we can go and win 3 points? Or were you going into the game thinking a draw will be enough to keep us going at the moment?
I would have taken a draw before the game. I said that on our Uncensored Match build-up show. Paul was of the opinion that he wouldn't. He wanted the entire 3 points. I would definitely have taken that because of the fact that you were on such a great run, because Liverpool hadn't started 2017 very well, whether it be Premier League, League Cup, FA Cup. You know, when you know that you've not got Mane, when you've not got Coutinho, when you've not got Matip, Jordan Henderson was injured until the Manchester United game. You know, we were struggling in an offensive sense, and I think any time you go against your rivals, and this again is something Mourinho's done, he's played for draws against his rivals all the time. Because why would you want to get further behind, or why would you want to let them get away from you? Even it out, going, and this is what Mourinho does. He's a flat track bully. He beats everybody else in the league. It's what Liverpool haven't done for years. You know, we come up against these sides in the top 4 or the top 6, and we go at them and we end up losing. Yeah. And we fall behind them. Well, that's stupid. You've got to be pragmatic sometimes, and I think Klopp saw the form that Liverpool were in and was pragmatic with it. And we did against Manchester City. We nicked it by a goal. Yeah. You know what I mean? But we defended doggedly, and you know, I've said before and I'll say it again, this Liverpool team isn't bad at defending when they defended a team. But when they go out all attack, they leave the centre-backs bare with nobody to protect them. Liverpool never did that against Manchester United.
I think that's something that Louis van Gaal did, in that when he defended as a unit and as a team, we were good defensively. Chris Smalling was one of the best centre-backs in the league last year, but we had such little attacking threat in that because it relied so heavily on a counter-attack, and we didn't really have the pace up front. But I mean, as I said, I'm disappointed with what Man United did in that game, because going into it, we were in such good form. There was a real confidence and a real just, I suppose, arrogance going into that game, thinking we're at home. You know, Man United, Old Trafford, it used to be the fortress. It used to be anybody comes to Old Trafford, you're going to get a fucking hard game. And that's something that we have done now. We are a very hard team to beat. In the last 10 minutes of games, we now don't bend over. We don't bow down. And we've actually got quite a few late goals this season, which is a massive plus point as far as we're concerned. But I find it, I don't know whether it's because I'm talking about it now and I haven't talked about it previously, but I find it strange that probably both Man United fans and Liverpool fans are looking at that saying, that's 2 points dropped. I think that kind of is a measure that maybe a draw was a fair result. And I think it was a fair result. I was like you after. I was fuming after the game, thinking, how have we been in such good form to go and do that against your biggest rivals at home? I think Ander Herrera, for me, was the only one who was really 100% committed. I think Zlatan was. Obviously, he came up with the goal at the end, but I think you wanted that game more than we did, which is why you got that draw. And I think, obviously, if I finish in with you could say that against Arsenal, against West Ham, against Everton, so many games this season, well, we've had the chances to win it, but we just haven't taken it. But fair fucks to
Liverpool had those chances as well, don't forget that. I mean, De Gea makes a decent save. I don't think the shot was very good from Roberto Firmino, where Coutinho does the little reverse pass to him. You know, a banging form Roberto Firmino doesn't make that easy for De Gea. I'm not saying it goes in. Gini Wijnaldum decides to head the ball from 16 yards.
17 yards over.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Fair enough, he's not been in great form. He has another chance where he stops it in the area, doesn't do enough with it. So we had our chances to win that game as well, and we were drawing you on to us at that point, and we were breaking with pace. And look, I stand by what I'm saying, and what I said last night is that I do feel that the ref kind of robbed us there. I do think there was far more decisions went your way than our way over the course of the season. Does that even itself out? I don't know, but it felt like yesterday, and that's all I cared about. We got the rough end of the deal.
Well, let me know in the comments below whether you agree with Chris. You clearly don't, obviously you don't, because you're on a United channel. But actually, try and take the red tinted glasses off and look at it from a completely neutral point of view. Was that game a game where the draw was the fair result, or should Liverpool or Man United have come out on top of it? And what did you think about Michael Oliver's performance in the middle of the pitch? Did he referee it well? Because obviously Man United have been on the wrong end of some bad decisions and bad performances this year. Maybe Liverpool have, I don't know, I haven't been watching them. But what did you think about that game there? But a draw, it doesn't really change much. You know, we move on now. We've got a good run of games coming up. I think
We've got hard games.
You've got some hard games coming up.
We've got some tough games.
So
hopefully on the 31st.
I think we play 4 points behind you.
5
points behind you now. So who knows what we'll be in 4 weeks time. But thanks for coming on. Thanks for having a chat. A draw is a fucking fair result. We always want to beat you. You always want to beat us. But at least we didn't fucking lose.
Before we go, the combined 11s.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. You've seen the game now.
Yeah.
Right. The goalkeepers. Who would you have on last night's performance? It's still David De Gea.
Still David De Gea.
Right back. Okay. You never saw Kleiny?
Yeah. Arnold actually played well. As I said, Arnold played well because you didn't let him get isolated.
Yeah, that first 10 minutes he got beasted a couple of times by Martial, and then Klopp.
I think he gave the ball away in the middle of the park. That was when we got a chance that was squared across and we scored. It was offside.
He made back for it himself, didn't he? Like, but that was a good performance. The two centre-backs, they're not as bad as people say, are they? You know, they dealt with Ibrahimovic pretty well, all told. Like, that finish from Ibrahimovic, I don't know another striker in the league who does that.
It was a fucking quality finish.
Nobody just thinks of doing that, like, do you know what I mean?
I don't know how you can lean back and get body position like that, but I think out of our centre-backs, Rojo was excellent. I think Jones had a couple of wobbles. The bit that really pissed me off the most was actually Pogba's handball, because Jones, he receives the ball, but he turns slowly, even though he's got Firmino. He knows he's going to get pressed. So just kick it back to David De Gea. The first time, you know that Liverpool are going to press you. He didn't. Caught on the ball, Rojo cleared it up. Corner, handball, but I think centre backs. I'll give you Lovren, and I'll have Rojo.
Okay. Left back, Milner was brilliant.
I called him a penalty merchant before the game,
and he was good.
At least I was accurate on that part.
Henderson dominated the midfield.
Henderson was quality. Pogba obviously non-existent, and Lallana was quality as well.
And this is a new formation for us yesterday. That's the first time we played the diamond all season.
Yeah. Why did you do that?
Basically because Firmino goes back up top. We've been playing with Firmino out on the left while Coutinho's been gone, but because we've got no Mane, no Coutinho, we went 2 up top, and Firmino was much better, not in an offensive sense, but in setting that press, and that's what he's done for us all season. And I think we saw, you know, especially first 30 minutes against United, he had your defenders ruffled. The best passer out of your back five, I think,
De Gea.
He
was
unbelievable, and he was the one who was beating the press. He was letting them come onto him and passing it straight into a midfielder, and you're like, fuck's sakes, he's a goalkeeper, like, do you know what I mean? What's going on?
And that did sum up how our midfield was playing, the fact that De Gea was the best passer out of the back, and Carrick got taken over half time. That's not happened before. But Herrera, for me, is in that midfield as well, because Herrera was, as I said, he might have, there was quite a few passes that he misplaced yesterday, but he really was the only one who was pressing back on you. And other than that, you really had control of that midfield.
He seemed to understand the occasion more than
he did at Anfield as well.
Yeah.
And that's where United fans are looking at him saying, I can see captain material in there, because you just, exactly, understanding the occasion, playing as if you're a fucking fan. And that's what Herrera did. In all the right ways. It can go the other way and you get fucking sent off for a red card. But
oh yeah, I forgot all about the fucking Rooney one on Milner.
That wasn't a red card. It was a bad tackle. You know it's a bad tackle when a player's instantly going up, hands in the air.
Deja Lovren gets the ball and gets a yellow card, like.
Yeah, well, leave that one out. But I do think that was a yellow, 100%. And I don't think it was a red. Let me know in the comments whether you think it was a red. But who's in the attack?
I thought Firmino was good. I think Zlatan Ibrahimovic is probably always in that attack, to be honest. And I said that in my combined 11 to begin with. Phil Coutinho gets into your side regardless, mate. That was him not playing for 8 weeks.
Yeah, Coutinho completely changed the game, because you didn't have an outlet that was willing to have possession until he came on, and then that slowed you down to the point where you can actually get players into the team. So I'll give you that. I'll give you Coutinho. We'll have Zlatan. I don't think anyone else played. Mkhitaryan had moments. Firmino may have had some moments, but there wasn't anyone else that really stands
that ball
out.
by Mkhitaryan for Pogba, I think it was. It's a fucking defence splitting pass, that isn't it? He's a quality player, mate.
He was. So let me know who will be on the right wing for your combined 11 after the game, and who will be in your combined 11 anyway. I got absolutely fucking slated on the Redmen's channel. I think, was it 1,000 dislikes on the video?
1,000 dislikes.
Something like that. Basically, I've got special needs. I've only found that out after the video, but thank you very much for all the Redmen's viewers. But, you know, it's been a pleasure chatting. I think, all in all, a draw is a fair result. As long as we don't lose to Liverpool, it's not a fucking crisis. So we can move on now. But United are on the march this year, now 16 unbeaten, which is the longest streak out of anybody in Europe's top 5 leagues after Real Madrid lost to Sevilla. And let's see where we are in a few months' time. But until then, I would say good luck in the rest of the season, but I'd be fucking lying. Anyway, take it easy, everyone. Drop a like on the video if you fancy it. Subscribe to Redmen TV and see more of Chris and some more reaction from the Man United game over there. And we'll see you soon. Take it easy.